To speak about God is to speak about love, right? Because God is love. When we reflect on fatherhood, we reflect upon the great fatherhood of God. Not just because God is our loving Father, but all earthly paternity flows from Him, as St. Paul says in his letter to the Ephesians. And last but not least, to speak about God is to speak about Jesus Christ, the second person of the Trinity, becoming man for our salvation. These three things, love, the fatherhood of God, and the incarnate Word, Jesus Christ, are the greatest expressions of God's mercy. It can help us to understand the depths of His infinite mercy. Love in general has a reciprocal character, so the more love we have for God, the more gifts and blessings we will receive from Him. The best gift obviously being sanctifying grace, the possibility of eternal happiness in heaven. The mercy of God is a tender response to our efforts and desires to serve Him with love. God's willingness to forgive our faults is a result of His merciful love. Because really, sin at its root is a willful rejection of the love of God. Thinking about God as our Father brings to mind the parable of the prodigal son. The father in the parable, even after his son had left home and squandered his inheritance, he still waits for him day and night. And when his son finally returns, his father doesn't, reprimand him or demand an explanation. He only forgives him and loves his son, welcoming him home with a great celebration. Now looking at Jesus Christ, Pope Benedict XVI said, Christ is divine mercy in person. His incarnation, His life, His passion and death are all proofs of God's love, of how much He wants to forgive us, how precious we are in His eyes. We must be convinced of this truth, of God's love for us, and trust in His mercy. The writings of St. Faustina Kowalska, the saint of mercy, can be summed up in this phrase, which Jesus stressed to her again and again. Please trust in me, trust in my love for you. That's why below the Divine Mercy image, he asked her to write, Jesus, I trust in you. The truth is that God's love is really revealed throughout the Scriptures with all kinds of images and comparisons. It describes God's love for us as a mother loves her children. In Isaiah we read, can a mother forget her baby, the child of her womb? Even if she forgets her child, I will not forget you. The entire book of the Song of Songs depicts the boundless love between God and every faithful soul. We must trust in God, in His mercy, saying with St. Bernard, my only merit is the mercy of God. At those times when we fall into sin through weakness, we should always remember what is said in Psalm 32. The eye of the Lord is upon them, upon those that hope in His mercy. May the Virgin Mary, the Mother of Mercy, help us to live with a constant awareness of the wonderful mercy of our Heavenly Father. We ask this grace through her intercession.